What's up, YouTube? Mike here with another episode of Talk to the Mic, and I'm here with
Sam Losco.
Awesome. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being on the show, man.
My pleasure.
So, for the people who don't know who you are, want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a lonely guy who could really use some money. No, actually, I'm Sam Tarasco, and I play Sam Losco on Trailer Park Boys when they call me. That's about it.
Awesome. And you got a vape shop as well. You want to tell us a bit about the shop?
Sure. CTE Vapes, otherwise known as Cave Time Enterprises and or Cave Time E-Juice, but I already have the sign that says CTE.
Oh, I lost you.
No, that was my girlfriend. I just hung up on her. Anyway, CTE Vapes, 607 Queen Street West, just east of Bathurst in Toronto.
Awesome. And how long have you had the shop for?
Just over a year, just over a year. I think this week was my grand opening anniversary.
Oh, nice. And how is it doing? Is I know that's a good location where you are. How is it going, pretty much?
Well, I had to close for 2 months. That didn't help. So
yeah,
as we get bigger and better, and something always goes wrong. Right now it was COVID, and now they're implementing new guidelines that doesn't allow me to open unless I pay them another $1,000 for some specialty license. So I will.
Shit.
Yeah. Just the more things change, the more they stay the same.
True. Plus the riots, I'm guessing you had to. Did you board up your windows just in case, or?
Yeah, I had to board up for one day. The weekend, just because I wasn't sure what was going to happen, because a bunch of shit happened in Hamilton, in Montreal, and then I boarded up just in case, and then nothing happened because we are so civilized here in Toronto.
Oh yeah, well I know I heard me in Montreal, we had the Steve's Music Store, and we had the couple of little stores people just broke in and just took a bunch of guitars, a bunch of everything. It was kind of bad. So
yeah, well I bet you that really improved the value of the protest, right?
Yeah, exactly. But half the people that bet you that were there to steal stuff weren't even there to protest. They were just there to loot their opportunities.
Of course. There's a big difference between a protester and a rioter and a looter. But there's not a big difference between a thief and a looter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So you worked, you did stuff for the Fight Network. Because I remember once or twice, we hung out when you brought a UFC fighter over to Ottawa. Are you still working with them, or?
Well, actually, I wasn't doing that for the Fight Network. I was doing it for a company called the Substance Entertainment Group, which is a company that I was working for. But our offices were inside the Fight Network studios, so I got to know a lot of those guys and did work with them. They would tag along on my excursions with Demetrius Johnson or Chris Weidman or Cyborg, for that matter, or even Cody Garbrandt, and they would get interviews off my back as opposed to me getting it off of theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you also did what's it called? When you did your caveman show, you still doing that show too? The tour?
Stand up? Yeah. Well, I can't do it now because of COVID, of course, but I did do a show just before COVID on March 14th in Cambridge, and it's still so much fun that I plan on doing it again.
Okay, cool. So there's gonna be more touring as Sam Losco, the caveman show.
Let's say more shows, not necessarily more touring. Touring is when you do 7, 8, 10, 12 shows back to back to back. I'll probably just be doing weekends because I got to take care of my store.
Good point. That's where you get.
Anything within a 2-hour drive of Toronto, that I can close my store at 8 and don't have to go on until 10, I'm good to go.
Perfect. Now, for Trailer Park Boys, how did you get the role as Sam Losco? Now, I remember I watched the first, I think it was like a pilot movie, like a black and white movie, and you were just in there for a little bit, and Ricky had those weird sideburns and stuff like that. But how did that get you into the role as Sam Losco?
In the black and white that you're talking about, the pilot, I was actually an unnamed actor. They just called me Dick Number One. And then, because my buddy was with me, he was Dick Number Two. When they sold that to Showcase, they came back and asked me if I would like to audition to be in the TV show. And I did. And Clattenburg cast me as Sam Losco. I don't know how. I wasn't supposed to be. I was supposed to be a drug dealer, but Showcase thought I was too old. So then he said, well, can I make him the vet? And they said, sure. Mm-hmm. So that's how I became the vet. The vet was supposed to be Officer Ted, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to be the vet. And the reason I know that was because about 5 years or 6 years into the filming, he had a few drinks one night and said, you know, you took my fucking part, eh? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I was supposed to be the vet, and then they made you the vet. And I go, well, here you go. Shut up. Be happy.
And now he's a cop. So, but
now he's a cop.
Exactly. Now, like in the show, like Sam's had so many different jobs. He's been like a contractor. He's been trying to run for like the everything. So it's just like, is it the same? Like it's just Sam just trying to evolve, I guess. As a character type thing.
Everybody's got to eat, bro. You got to do what feeds you. Just like in real life. I've been a teacher. I've been a truck driver. Right now I own a vape store. I've been a talent coordinator. I've been a bodyguard. I've been whatever I feel like doing at the time. And if I don't like it, then I find a new job and I quit. But I always find a new job first.
Awesome. So now, like, they have the animated show now. Is it easier to do the animated show as opposed to the regular show? Like, is it better, or do you miss doing the real life stuff?
I miss seeing the guys. I get to talk to them still, and I always love to travel. It gives me an excuse to go visit my friends and family in Nova Scotia. But it's not that terrible that I don't have to close the store. I just leave for an hour or so, do my recording, and then come back because it's just about 10 miles from here.
Okay, so it's more convenient with the store now as opposed to the traveling.
It's easier. It's definitely easier, but I wouldn't say it's as much fun.
Well, no, because you're there in person. You see, like, there's always jokes or stuff going on set. So
you get to play off each other, right?
Now, if you could pick a scene from the show that was like your favorite scene out of all that you're in, which one would you pick?
One of my favorites, I guess, is when when Leigh kicks me out of the liquor store. That's one. He asked me for ID. I just posted that one the other day. That one was funny. That one, I have a funny story about that one, to tell you the truth. So the script was written up. The scene was written up. I'm looking it over, figuring out how I'm going to do it. I guess Mr. Dunsworth there was doing the same thing. And then we ran into each other in a grocery store. I used to like to shop late at night because, again, I was bouncing or bodyguarding, and I don't get home till 3 in the morning. So I hit the grocery store about 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's Leahy in line with me. We start laughing. And he goes, let's practice the scene. Let's practice the scene. Because that's the type of guy he is. So there's hardly anybody in the store, but there are like 3 people in line, and we practice that scene. And if you look at it, as he's taking me out of the liquor store, the way we did it in the Sobeys store was when he put me in a headlock, he was struggling. So I picked him up, left myself in the headlock, and then let him walk me out the store because technically I carried him out of the store. But he still had a headlock on me. So I wish they filmed it like that because that was really funny. It just looked really funny.
Nice. Yeah, it must have been fun working with him because I've met him a couple of times, and I've heard that he's just brilliant. He was brilliant, and he was really passionate about about the role.
Nicest guy you could ever meet. That's it. Nicest guy you could ever meet.
Nice. And is there any more future episodes in the works right now involving Sam, or is there any stuff you could talk about or can't talk about?
If they call, I always answer. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, perfect. Now, how is it working with, I know a lot of scenes with Bernard, with Cyrus. How was that working with him, doing the teamwork of that?
It's all right. I mean, nothing wrong with Cyrus. Bernie's a really good guy. Everybody on the show, the cast, crew, behind the camera, everybody's awesome. Everyone's just so nice. And they make me feel like a star, which is hilarious because this is a hobby, you know? Mm-hmm. When I'm there, I have my own little trailer with my name on the trailer. there's not a star. It might be a Star of David, but there's not a star on the outside of the door. But everyone treats me like I'm royalty, which is so cool.
Awesome, awesome. Now, do people recognize you at the vape shop, or like do you get a lot of people
Sometimes,
saying,
not when I'm wearing this.
"Oh
Not when
no,
I'm wearing that. They don't.
I saw the video.
And
You're
a
on."
lot of times they don't. And then I speak, and then their head goes, and they'll say, "Do I know you?" So I give them the classic, "You watch a lot of gay porn?" They go, "No." I go, "Then I don't know what it could be." Then they look at the pictures on the wall in my store, and they go, "Oh, wait a second, you're Sam." And I go, "Oh, yeah, aren't you?"
That's nice. So I'm guessing you got a couple of like classic moments, I guess, pictures on the wall.
Yeah, some scenes from the show and some of the people that, like I said, when I was doing one of my other jobs, either as talent coordinator or as bodyguard, like there's pictures of me and Shaggy, me and Russell Peters, me and Ice-T and Coco, the Sheepdogs. The Sheepdogs is actually quite funny because I actually ran into them at a show. I've always been a fan of theirs. My girlfriend was living in Guelph, so we said, hey, let's go to the show on Saturday night. Couldn't get tickets. Then we got tickets for the show in Kitchener on Friday night. So we went out to Kitchener, watched the show. I got to meet the guys after the show backstage. And they said, oh, you should come to the show in Guelph tomorrow. I said, I can't. It's sold out. So they said, well, we'll get you tickets. And I said, great. So they got me passes for me and my girlfriend. And then we threw an after party for them at my girlfriend's place where they made the guest list. We didn't invite anybody. We said, we're going to just open up our house to you and invite whoever you want. And we had a nice party till like 5, 6 in the morning. I was making grilled cheese for the band at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was pretty funny.
Nice, nice, nice. So, do you have any shout-outs you want to give out to anybody?
Just Brandon, I guess. Brandon Bird, the young, I don't know what you want to call him, entrepreneur out of Ottawa, Diamond Mine Agency. He's the one who keeps pushing me to come and do tours. He's the one who signed me to do the tour of the States, the tour of BC, the second tour of BC, the tour of Eastern Canada. So if not for him, I probably wouldn't have been in any of those cities. So shout out, Brandon. I hate you, but I love you too.
He's a good guy. He's just he's a little more calm now. He's calming down. He used to be like a chicken with his head cut off every event.
Because he's listening to me. I tell him, Brandon, if you yell, people tune you out. But if you whisper, people come in closer to hear what you have to say.
Exactly, yeah. 'Cause I remember a couple of shows with him and helping him out. And one minute you're talking to him, the next minute he's gone halfway across looking for something else, and he's just everywhere. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't had a heart attack doing this. Oh.
Again, she called. Sorry.
Perfect. Well, all I want to ask you is for anybody who wants to check out your vape shop again, give them the address one last time.
CTE Vapes on Queen Street in Toronto, 607 Queen Street West. You can also follow me on Twitter as Sam Tarasco or on Instagram as Sammy Tarasco. If you go to my Facebook and try and add me as a friend, I'm full. I don't hate you. I'm just full. So unless somebody dies, and believe me, at my age, one of my friends dies every month. So once one of them dies, then I have like 3,000 requests to choose through. I may pick you, I may not, nothing personal. But you can join my page. And I answer. You can always DM me. I always answer.
Yeah, you're a nice guy for that. I've noticed that. Like, people every time I get someone talking about you, saying that you've been on the show or you met them, they just think you're amazing, and you are amazing.
Thank you.
Now, again, I got to come down to Toronto. I'm planning on coming down to Toronto in about a month. I'm gonna have to come check out the shop and come see how it is and pick up a few things. So I don't smoke, but I have friends that do, and they probably think it's cool. Who I bought it from, pretty much.
Well, I also sell stuff like this. This is good for shatter and for oils as well. I sell CBD. I sell dry herb vapes. I just can't sell herb. But we're allowed to go in the back and smoke a joint if you come down.
Awesome. Now, are you working eventually on trying to open a shop for marijuana, for weed, or is it just
that's the goal, yeah. That's why I opened this store.
like the stepping stone to get to it, pretty much.
Well, secure the lease, make a viable business while you're waiting for the government to sort through all the paperwork.
Perfect, perfect. Well, again, thank you very much for being on the show. It's always a pleasure chatting with you and talking with you.
Okay, Mike.